Seriously with Martin Bester.
Once again, a horrific story out of South Africa this weekend, rather, when it comes to crime, hijacking of a victim, and then allegedly the robber shot and killed his 5-year-old son. It is just despicable, horrific. And before that, last week also, every day, let's be honest, hijacking, spiking stories. Looks like they caught a gang, though, responsible or said to be responsible for a lot of the spikings around here.
Yeah.
But now you listen to the charges. It's not just spiking.
No.
There's rape charges.
There was a rape charge.
Robbery. They even caught them at a place, at a shebeen that was illegally operated. So, yeah, but it's just, it sometimes feels out of control, and it's just shocking when you hear a story like this, that a 5-year-old child would be a victim, once again, of just a crime that has become so commonplace.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Hijackings and robbery and that kind of thing.
But why? Why are you firing?
Why?
As a 5-year-old, you want the car, take the car.
I don't know.
Take the car.
Was it last week, the week before? That young soccer player?
Yes.
Fleurs in yes.
Luke Fleurs, it wasn't too long ago.
Shot and killed, and then you learn afterwards I sold his car for 20 grand.
Thank you. That's what his life is worth.
$20,000.
Yeah.
Like, as you say, take the car, man.
Take the car. And, I mean, probably has a watch worth as much as what they got for it.
Right?
I mean, it's sickening.
Anyway, the last time we caught up with our next guest, we spoke about robberies, whatever you like to call it, criminals operating from garages. Richard has been in the industry, violent crime investigations industry, for more than 20 years. Richard, good morning. Thanks for joining us at short notice.
Good morning, Martin. Thank you.
This story of the 5-year-old is just a shocker, once again.
Martin, yes. If you look at that crime scene, you must remember at the time when the attack takes place, the criminal is at its most dangerous. So I was at the scene, and what I can make out from the scene is when the child ran out to go and say hello to daddy, the attack was taking place. So at that time, there could have been a shouting, a yell. I still believe deep within me, a criminal will not take a firearm and point blank shoot a 5-year-old. This could have been a freak accident. I don't like to use the word accident. If I can refer back 6 years ago, remember the case with little Tiger and Morris, where the child was accidentally, the seat belt clipped around his hand and the robbers drove off. It's a freak accident. The word accident might be too soft for what happened, but I still believe within me, a robber won't take a gun, point at a 5-year-old and just shoot.
But I think the bottom line is, taking a couple of steps back, you should never be in that situation in the first place.
Agreed.
Correct.
These criminals should not feel comfortable enough to actually just do this on a daily basis. And as I believe anecdotally, also, the crime in the Soshanguve area is just escalating.
The Soshanguve area, there has always been crime, but in the last 2 months, it has really picked up. So I personally believe a group has moved into Soshanguve. They're going to be very active for about, let's say, another month or so. Then they'll move. But as I say, in the last 2 months, it has escalated quite a lot.
Yeah. The mere fact that they feel comfortable and confident to get you when you're arriving back at your family home. That they're hijacking. We've spoken about this before, because a lot of us might have our guard down.
Yes.
You've worked, you arrive home, it's family time, you want to see your son, your family, your wife, whatever the case may be. So you yourself, you're vulnerable.
Correct, yes. 71% of vehicle hijacking happen in home driveways. 71%. Now, of the 71%, under 2% happen in the morning, because the robber does not know what's going to come out of your driveway.
Okay.
If you take the Luke Fleurs case, 20,000 rand for the vehicle. The robbers might have been 3 of them, 4 of them involved. So it's not 20,000 each. It's you take 5, I'll take 3. So for them to follow you and stake you out for 3-4 days, Martin leaves home at 7 o'clock in the morning. Martin gets home at 5 o'clock. The value attached to the motor vehicle doesn't justify that. So it's much easier in the afternoon or evenings to follow you home, keep a distance behind you of between 80 and 100 meters. You sit back and think now, but that's far. The reason why the robbers like to follow you at about 4 properties behind you is they know when you look in your center mirror, you won't be able to see who's in the car behind you, how many people, but most important, the robber knows. Your eye will tell your brain, hulle is ver, they are far. Now they wait for the sign. The sign could be your brake lights coming on, the indicator coming on. As soon as they see that, the robbers accelerate. If they drive 60 kilometers an hour, their vehicle travels at 16 meters per second. So basically, 5 seconds later, the robbers are right behind you and they've boxed you in.
So what can you do?
If you approach your house and there's a vehicle behind you, stop in the road. You at all times want to have an escape route, forward, sideways, backwards.
All right, I'm with you.
Be careful when the car behind you overtakes. If the robbers overtake you, keep in mind 3-4 guys are not going to look out of the window at you like this. The driver might give a quick glance in your direction. The other guys are sleeping, as we say. They go lower than the window. If the end of the road, so they overtake you now, if the end of the road is 100 meters and shorter the distance, they normally overtake, accelerate, make a U-turn and come back. How many times have you seen on social media an attack takes place but the robbers ran in on foot and they forced the owner of the property to reopen the gate? If you go earlier, you'll see they overtook, accelerate, U-turn, come back. If they now overtake you and they see, the end of the road is far, they normally overtake, go about 3 houses down, and they normally select the driveway on the opposite side of the road. It's purely to give them better visibility. So as soon as your gate opens, they reverse and they race up back to your gate. So stop in the road. If the car overtakes you, the danger is still there. As soon as you've opened the gate and you've entered, stop. The gate must close behind you immediately. Don't enter and leave the gate open, because the deeper in you go, the deeper the robbers must follow, and that is when hijacking rolls over into house robbery sometimes.
So stop just other side of the gate.
Correct, yes.
And then close the gate.
Immediately, yeah.
Close the gate. Any questions for Richard this morning? 084 850 0942. You know what? It's always important, I think, to be aware of these things and to possibly think about how you can prevent it. It's not a surefire way, but you can get yourself a slightly better chance. Miropat with Richard Brussow, special guest. We're talking crime, South Africa.
You're with your morning family. Breakfast with Martin Bester.
Our special guest on the show, Richard Brussow. He is our crime prevention specialist. Another tragic weekend in South Africa, really, where the news came through of hijacking, and then a 5-year-old got killed in the process. Absolutely horrific. We spoke now about hijackings happening in driveways. Apparently a high percentage of hijackings happen then. I think you're probably at your most comfortable, tired, end of the day. You're not even thinking about that.
No.
You just want to get home.
Yeah, it's the little things for me. Like, I know, it's going to sound silly, but as soon as I'm driving home, I'm like, I must go to the loo. Do you know what I mean? Because I know that I'm nearly home.
What am I going to have for dinner?
What am I going to have for dinner? Oh, I must get the stuff out of my car quickly. Oh, I wonder.
But really good tips coming in from Richard. When you get home, don't stop against the gate.
Yeah.
Stop in the road so that you can get away. Right? It's those little things, and I tell you now, they can help. They can save your life.
Correct.
And get you to react and prevent it. Quick question or two coming in.
What do you do in a situation where there's road rage and you have someone that is on your tail and he wants to follow you and he wants to fight?
Road rage is a thing, especially in Gauteng.
And they want to follow you home.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's most commonly referred to as red mist, where the person goes ballistic behind you. He's aggressive. You don't know what the circumstances are, what day he's had, what his, as I say, circumstances. The best is to try and de-escalate the story. When you see you being followed, make your phone calls, phone police. Maybe you've got a tracking system in your vehicle. At that time, you want to make contact with someone and get to a place where there's people around. That could be a filling station, maybe a shopping mall, whatever the case might be. It's sad in Gauteng, especially I'm sorry to say this, guys that drive the bakkies, they tend to be a little bit more aggressive, where they shout and swear. And the quickest to start road rage is to shake your head at someone. Ignore. When they come past you, doesn't matter how the person drives, sit and think, thank you, he didn't bump me. Go and irritate someone else. Don't get involved. Don't shake your head.
Okay.
Easier said than done.
It's not easy.
Said and done.
Yeah.
This is Breakfast with Martin Bester. Jacaranda FM.